Dawno, dawno temu. Dawno, dawno temu. Dawno, dawno temu. Long, long ago, in the heartlands of Poland, where the plains are wide and flat, there lived a boy called Aaron. And Aaron lived with his younger brothers and sisters. But Aaron was the eldest boy. Who here is the eldest sibling or brother or sister in their family? Oh yes, what a responsibility. There was Aaron, the eldest, with many younger brothers and sisters. And he lived with his mother and their father, and they were poor, but they had just enough. They had a small farm. But it was December, and Aaron's father came to him one evening and said, Aaron, we need money to buy gifts for your brothers and sisters for Hanukkah. Aaron, we must sell Zlatka, your goat. Tomorrow you will take Zlatka to the next town and sell her to the butcher, and then we will have money to pay for gifts. And Aaron could not refuse, although he loved his goat. She was his best friend. But he could not refuse, for he knew his father was an honest and true man. So instead of that night spending the night in his bed, he went out to the stalls and he put his arms around Zlatka, that beautiful goat who had a long white coat, and he held her. Zlatka, this will be our last time together. And she answered as she always did, nah. And in the morning, he put a rope around Zlatka's neck and he led her away from the farm and waved goodbye to his brothers and sisters and set off on the long journey with just a crust of bread in his pocket, setting off for the town to sell Zlatka to the butcher. And he walked across the flat plains, and the sky was blue and the sun was not high, for it was December, but the sun shone his way brightly. And he walked on, and as he walked, he did what he always did when he was with Zlatka. He talked. He told her stories. She loved it when he told her stories. She always answered, nah. Well, on they walked across the plains. But as they walked, Aaron noticed that the sky was changing. And already past the middle of the day, when he'd eaten his crust of bread to keep him going, he noticed that the sky was turning a kind of blue-black colour. Darkness was coming. And he knew what that meant. Soon there would be snow. A storm of snow. Indeed, a blizzard was coming. Oh, Zlatka, should we go back? Or should we press on? Zlatka, what should we do? And she answered, I don't know either. Perhaps you should go on. The butcher will shelter us for the night. We must be there soon. So he pressed on, but now the snow began to fall in flurries. White flakes drifting. It was hard to see. Aaron had a stick with him and felt his way on the hard stone path. But now soon the path was covered. It was important to keep to the path, for the plain was level and the same landscape everywhere. If he lost the path, then they both would be lost. But now the snow came thicker and heavier than before, flying down, flying so fast in the wind. Well, as Aaron felt in the snow, suddenly his stick went down into soft earth. Where is the path? I must find the path. But wherever he felt, could he find the path? Oh, Zlatka, what shall we do? We are lost. I no longer know which way is north and which way is south. Zlatka, what shall we do? And she answered, oh, Zlatka, help me. He trudged through the snow. Zlatka was now slow behind him. Keep up, Zlatka, keep up. There ahead of him in the greyness of the blizzard, he saw, for he was tired now, he wanted to rest, a mound of white snow. About as big as this room, perhaps a little smaller. What do you think it could have been? He came up to it. He took his stick. Any ideas? The idea. A fairy hill, perhaps. He put his stick, and it was soft. His stick went right in. He pushed the snow aside, and there inside he felt hay. a haystack. Here, Zlatka, we can rest. This will be our haven. He pushed the hay aside and climbed inside the haystack, and Zlatka followed him inside. And Zlatka immediately began to nibble at the sweet hay. There's nothing that she loved more to eat. Can you nibble hay like a goat? She nibbled and nibbled and nibbled. And Aaron now was hungry again and thirsty. But he now saw that Zlatka had milk. He milked her and drank that sweet, slightly salty milk that is goat's milk. Have you ever tasted delicious goat's milk?
I've only tasted cows.
I tasted goats. Have you? It's good, isn't it? He drank and the milk sustained him. And now, as he always did, he told Zlatka a story, just to keep her company. Well, Zlatka listened to the story, and she answered with a because she enjoyed his story. And now they had been in that haystack for a whole night. And the next morning, Aaron took his stick and put it through the top of the haystack to see if the snow had stopped falling, but indeed it had not. It was still falling thick and fast. So he drank more warm milk from the goat, and she ate more of that delicious hay. And there was nothing he could do but to tell Zlatka another
Story!
Well, by now, Aaron and Zlatka had been in that haystack for 2 whole days. Although they'd had milk, they had babushka, not babushka, Zlatka, do you think my mother and father and my brothers and sisters will be worried about me? Zlatka answered, yes, I think so too. I wish the snow would stop so I could get home. I'm not going to take you to the market to send you to the butcher. I'm going to take you home with me. You've kept me alive, Zlatka. I hope the snow stops falling soon. And after that 3rd night, when Aaron put his stick up through the haystack, he saw a patch of bright blue sky. He pushed aside the hay, but there was snow. He had to tunnel with his hands through the cold, cold snow, until finally he was out in the clear, and he pulled Zlatka with a long white coat out behind him. Zlatka, now we can return home, but...
Where's Paul?
Everything was flat and white. Which way, Zlatka? Which way? Everybody? No, I don't know either. If we walk in the wrong direction, Zlatka, we will be lost forever on these plains. And then, at that moment, as if by magic, in the distance, there was a sound. Well,
Santa!
closer and closer came that sleigh.
Santa!
Faster and faster. Closer and closer, and there, standing, and there stopping before them with that sleigh, a stranger in a long grey coat, and a grey hood, and a grey beard underneath. Child, what are you doing out here? I must find my way home. And he told the stranger where his home was, and the stranger said, I've come from that way myself. Follow the tracks of the sleigh, and by nightfall you will be home. I must go on my way, for tonight is Hanukkah. And on he went, with his sledge pulled by white horses through the snow. Zlatka was led by Aaron along those tracks, and all day long they walked, and as they walked they shared stories, and as Aaron told stories, Zlatka always answered with a... And finally there ahead was the farmstead, and out running and shrieking at the top of their voices, our brother, our Aaron has returned. The mother and father came running out of the house and lifted their eldest son in their arms and carried him into the house and set him by the fire. Our son is returned. What gift is this on Hanukkah? We believed you were lost, Aaron. Aaron said, I would be lost if it wasn't for Zlatka, who fed me with her milk and kept me company by listening to my stories. Please, Father, do not make me sell Zlatka. It is well, said the father. If she has saved your life, what greater gift could there be? Zlatka will remain with us. And after Aaron had recounted the whole tale, he went out into the stalls, and even though he had the chance of sleeping before the fire, that night he slept, again in the company of Zlatka, with his arms wrapped around her long white woolen coat. And they kept each other warm on that long winter night.
If he does.
Well, thank you one and all for sharing these winter stories.